Tell him about it.
Hey Logan, sorry we didn't get to meet. I just want to tell you about the landscape lights. If you want to unplug them, plug them back in. They are automatic with daylight. So you don't have to do anything, but if you want to change the on and off, and there's instructions downstairs. This little gadget here.
That little gadget knows when the afternoon light, it's got a sensor and it cuts them on. I'm sure you know about that. And it cuts them on and then it lasts for so many hours and then cuts off.
You
can adjust that.
Right. And then these two floodlights are not working right at the moment only because the bulbs are burned out. But there's a switch right here to turn them on so you get light up at the parking area. And then down at the house, if you're standing in the living room, there's a wall switch to the left of the window. And that will also turn the floodlight on and off. So it's a two-way. You can turn it on here, go down to the house, turn it off when you get down.
Now, if I may mention the history of these steps, it was my project over the years. It turned me from a young man into an old man. Took me about 6 years. But I really am proud of them. They're one of my artworks. Now, originally, there was a wooden boardwalk. Now, we did not waste the wood in the wooden boardwalk. When I removed it, I transformed it and reused it. And that's where you have your wonderful side storage. I reused the wood in the boardwalk, but it had a little slant, and then that wood was a little bit slippery. Now, I didn't finish off these stones. I wanted them to be a little rough because of ice and wet conditions, but you may want to get a real stonemason in here to mortar these up real tight. I kind of envisioned them having ivy and landscaping and that kind of thing. Then we took these split rail fence posts, and then we built this railing, and the idea there was that the 5/8 inch wide steel, I think it's like 18 gauge, would bend, and so by putting multiples there, we were able to curve it, and then we welded it off at the bottom, and but we just kind of finished that off lately, and then over here, your walkway here, I was in the process of refreshing these cross, the natural cross members there. Didn't really get through with that, and then it. Let's see. Now here's your front entrance, as you notice. Now right over here is where your water comes in. Your water main. Now there's two water service mains, and I don't know why they got the top of them off right now, but they are off. Now the problem there is there's a special tool to cut that off. So if you were going off for a time, or you just had a problem downstairs and you wanted to cut your water off, we had a really nice guy come up and put us in an auxiliary cutoff. Anyway, you can get a rake. Used to, I would put my knees in this bag, which has been here for years, and get right in here. To find that thing. Oh, there it is. There it is right there. Right there, that little green deal there. You open that up, and you just got a simple plumber's tool to cut that valve off going to your house. But now, to cut off one of these county mains, you have to have a special tool, and it's a big old hard to work tool. So we had this cutoff put in right here, so when we left during cold weather, afraid of freezes, it would. Another little asset which you might not understand, these are like 20-foot laminated support beams, which Elaine's husband came up on a job, and rather than leaving them in the dirt where they would rot, I chained them to the wall, and they should be applicable to your deck plans. They're very expensive. Now, over here in this bulwark, this part, originally they just had to park on the side of the road, and they really didn't have room for parking. So Elaine's husband built this bulwark, and then they did a fill with to where you've got some really nice parking up there for all those wild parties. Okay, here's the fire pit area, and which might not be a good idea, but anyway, this is I used it for keep logs dry and just put miscellaneous tools and equipment in. The top lifts. See, it's really wonderful. And then this little hinge deal comes out where if you were cutting a limb or something with a chainsaw, it's got that feature. Also right over here, unfortunately I did not finish. There's a fire pit, and this is the base and the top lid where all you have to do is put 2x4 straight up for long handle tools. Might want to have a long handle tool storage right here along the wall. It's a good place for it. I didn't get around to finishing that. If you are wondering what this door to nowhere is, we were concerned when we were talking about renting that somebody woke up in the night and here you've got an open stairwell. So of course this little lever goes across here and locks it in. So just in case you were wondering, we were concerned about sleepwalking. All right, about this Whitewater River. Right now it's not whitewater much down toward the left of your river line. But over on your right is our neighbors. They got out there and planted some stones to create a whitewater here on this side. And then as you come down here, we had one whitewater. You can't see it very well, but over here on your left, they've got the new boundary line. And when I came up, all of this was pretty overgrown. And I said, well, what the hell? Are you gonna have a riverfront lot and you can't see the river? So I cleared a lot of this where you could see it, and yet it still got the vegetation to hold the bank. But now, what I did not clear was over here on the left side where your lot line is. There's some clearing that you could do over to that lot line, and you'd be able to see that whitewater much better. I think it'd be worth it. Now we just finished over here on the left. There's an old decaying concrete block steps, which are dangerous. So we put this traverse down here across the side of the mountain, which is much more comfortable to walk, much more friendly. The other one was just dangerous. Now you see my complete dog fence, and about the time I got this dog fence built, the dog died. So you might want to remove that dog fence. It's a horse welded wire for a horse fence, but I don't think you're into dogs, so you might want to have that removed. And there she is.